You don't unlock anything with EFT until you understand that it was never just a technique. That's why you feel relief, but never true release. Because most people touch the body as if they were pressing buttons, but trauma doesn't respond to commands. It responds to frequency. And if the vibration is off, you only reinforce what you meant to dissolve. It's not about repeating sequences, it's about invoking. Each point on your body is a vibrational key, and most people are trying to open sacred portals with distracted hands. You feel the tightness in your chest, the racing mind, the cycle that never ends, but you don't know where to touch. What you're going to discover here isn't found in any manual. It lives in the silent memory of your body. Because there is a way to use EFT that awakens, releases, and reprograms. But only if you understand what it really is. And what it is, no one ever told you. What almost no one realizes is that EFT wasn't created to fix emotions. It was born to access a vibrational plane that lives beneath consciousness, where pain has no name but pulses. When applied like an automatic sequence, it brings relief. But when activated as a ritual, it breaks ancestral cycles, dissolves what once felt permanent, and turns the body into a living portal of release. That's why so many people give up on the technique without understanding their mistake. It's not the practice that fails, it's the way it's treated, as a tool, not as a language. Each point you touch is more than an energy channel. It's a somatic record where a part of you got stuck in time. And what we're going to do here goes far beyond teaching how to tap. We're going to reveal how to turn EFT into a conscious vibrational ritual capable of dissolving chronic anxiety, automatic reactions, and inherited pain you carry without knowing where it came from. You'll learn to use touch as a key, intention as vibration, and the body as the temple where everything is rewritten from the inside out. This way of touching to awaken isn't new. It's hidden in traditions that never separated body, spirit, and emotion. In Egyptian alchemy, the body was called a vibrational reliquary, a living instrument where the invisible condensed into form. To them, everything unexpressed became matter, and everything touched with the right intention turned into light. Thoth, the scribe of silence and living geometry, taught that there are paths in the body that only open when touched from within, and that the right touch, made with presence, words, and breath, could reverse illness, correct distortions, and dissolve time. This knowledge wasn't called therapy. It was called a crossing. Vibrational rituals where you moved from one state to another effortlessly, guided only by rhythm and precision. Today, we call it EFT, but the code behind it has many names. Ki, Sekam, Ankh, Nodi. The name doesn't matter. What matters is knowing the body holds maps that only respond to those who touch with awareness. Simple touches, repeated with intention, can do what the mind cannot. Reorganize the impulses of the nervous system where trauma lives without a name. Neuroscience has already shown that the most intense experiences are not stored as memories. They are registered as survival patterns, repeated in the body even years later. The polyvagal theory explains this with precision. The body reacts before the mind. It freezes, defends itself, or runs away even when everything seems calm on the outside. EFT activates points on the skin connected to deep emotional circuits. By stimulating these points with rhythmic touch, there is a measurable drop in cortisol, an increase in heart rate variability, and a direct signal that it is safe to relax. This is not suggestion, it's physiology, and epigenetics confirms it. Unresolved trauma can be passed down through generations, but the right touch, on the right point, with real intention, can end a response that began before you were even here. You don't start by tapping, you start by listening, because the body speaks before it moves. And if you touch without listening, you only repeat the same pattern you're trying to release. The first gateway of EFT isn't in your fingers, it's in your ability to notice what's alive right now. Tightness in your chest, a lump in your throat, vibration in your legs. That's not a symptom, it's a code. The body always tells you where the knot is. Your role is to become familiar with that vibration, not through analysis, but with embodied attention. The practice begins like this: feel, name, locate, but not with technical language, with real sensations. Something's pulsing here. This feels like it's sinking. This feels inherited. This energetic naming is what aligns your field with the true intention of release. Without it, EFT becomes a mechanical gesture. With it, it becomes a vibrational invocation. You are telling your body, I know where it hurts, and I'm ready to dissolve it. That's the moment the points begin to open. Because the body doesn't surrender to control, it surrenders to recognition. In the second part, we'll explore the map of the points. But for now, everything begins with listening. Vibrational listening, embodied awareness, ritual presence, from the moment you recognize the vibration, not as a symptom, but as a calling. The body begins to open paths, and these paths have points. Points where energy got stuck, where emotion turned solid, where movement was interrupted and never finished. Between the eyebrows, ancient fear settled into your gaze. That's where the circuit begins. When you touch it with presence, you are telling your body, I see what was left hanging. The touch awakens. The gesture restarts. At the sides of the eyes, the anger that could never be expressed still lives. Don't press, invite. Conscious pulsing dissolves what was silenced but never resolved. Below the eyes, something vibrates that isn't yours, but it vibrates within you. Inherited emotions, stories that epigenetics now confirms, but that the body always knew how to carry. Touching that point releases the memory without needing to relive it. The body knows when it's time to close a cycle. Just below the nose, and then at the center of the chin, are the gateways of expression. These are points that hold swallowed words, muffled truths, and unspoken decisions. By activating them, you're not just freeing your voice, you're restoring vibrational authenticity. Move down to the clavicles, and notice the point where the body chooses between moving forward or pulling back. This is where gesture meets action. Touching this spot with presence awakens the movement that was once interrupted. And then, just below the center of the chest, the seal of the heart. Not as a symbol, but as a field. This is where the emotional load you've carried for everyone else still lives. By touching this point with reverence, what was compressed begins to dissolve. Not as an explosion, but as a release. Each point is a key, each finger a transmitter. But without intention, they are just movements. With presence, they become a language. That's how the sequence becomes a ritual, and the body an altar. Now that the points have been activated, one element still remains, often forgotten, yet the most decisive of all: integration. It's not enough to tap, release, and move on. If the new vibration isn't anchored, the body will go back to the old pattern. It will return to what it knows, even if what it knows is pain. This is the moment where you turn movement into frequency. At the end of the tapping sequence, close your eyes and stay where you are. Don't rush. Breathe as if you're listening from the inside. Feel the field around you begin to reorganize. Notice what has changed. Maybe it's something subtle, a tension that dissolved, a new warmth, a tear with no explanation. Or maybe nothing visible happens, and even so, something has shifted. Now, speak, not to the world, but to your body. A phrase, a vibrational invocation, something like, I allow this release. I give permission for this emotion to leave. I choose to vibrate differently. At this stage, the word is not an affirmation, it's a code, and your body, in a receptive state, records everything as reality. This is the moment when the ritual comes to a close, and the new pattern begins to pulse, not as an idea, but as an anchored vibration. You didn't just do EFT, you rewrote your frequency, and your body understood. Hawthorne couldn't explain why he always felt strange whenever he had to talk about himself. His chest would tighten, his throat would close up in silence, even when his mind felt calm. He knew what he wanted to say, but his body wouldn't let it come out. For months, he carried that block like someone holding a full glass right to the brim. Avoiding was easier than overflowing, but some nights the weight would grow and no words could contain it. It was on one of those nights that he stopped trying to figure out why. He closed his eyes, touched the point between his collarbone and the center of his chest with his fingers, and for the first time he didn't try to understand, he just felt. A subtle pressure began to ease, then came warmth, then tears. No drama, no outburst. Just an old cry that didn't seem to be only his. Hawthorne didn't heal that day, but something inside him shifted. And for the first time in years, when he opened his mouth to speak, his voice came out without needing permission. Many people stop exactly where Hawthorne began to release. Not because the method is difficult, but because there's an invisible belief running in the background that everything must be understood with the mind before anything can change in the body. That is the greatest obstacle. The illusion that transformation only happens through explanation. But the body doesn't wait for logic. It only needs presence without judgment, touch without control, and intention without urgency. This is where many people get stuck. They want to map the trauma, identify the source, decode the story, but sometimes what needs to be released never had words. It came from ancient silences, inherited tensions, pains that settled without passing through language. You don't need to resolve. You need to allow. Allow your body to do what it's known how to do for millennia, to vibrate, recalibrate, release, touch, breathe, stay, even if it feels subtle, because it's in what seems insignificant. That reality begins to shift in density. There are touches that awaken the skin, and there are touches that awaken the soul. You didn't use EFT, it used you as a channel, as a bridge, as a ritual, not as a technique, but as a forgotten language between worlds, where the body still speaks in pulses, and consciousness answers with presence. Each point you touched wasn't just a point, it was a code, a vibrational memory of who you were before the pain, and of who you can become when you no longer have to carry it. You've learned that you don't need to understand everything in order to feel, nor do you need to control the mind in order to free the body. You only need to stay in a place where very few have the courage to remain, within yourself, present, aware, open to the sacredness of what pulses. As Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. If there's anything to do after watching this video, it's this. Close your eyes, touch a point, breathe, and allow. Allow the energy to stop running away. Allow your story to move. Allow the wisdom that has always lived in your body to take the lead. You don't need to keep chasing techniques. You are the very technology of feeling. And maybe, just maybe, your next breakthrough won't require any more explanation, but surrender, silence, presence. Because the real miracle doesn't shout. It whispers where few are brave enough to listen. If this video touched something deep within you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This simple gesture supports the expansion of this field and keeps transmissions like this alive. Now, write in the comments, by touching my body with presence, I call my soul back. This affirmation echoes into the unseen and seals your journey back to the sacred body. Share this video with someone who's forgotten that healing doesn't come from the outside. It awakens through conscious touch. And don't leave just yet. Click on the screen to watch another transformational video from the channel. Remember, when you touch the right point, you're not just accessing a nerve, you're unlocking a memory that knows how to set you free.